we welcome you to the Chalk Talk at Carlo's Pizza, our weekly podcast we're doing this summer to learn more about the high school players in the West Michigan area and get a chance to learn a little bit more. We certainly enjoyed visiting with Northview last week. And Kenowa Hills Knights, our guest this week. We'll talk with Coach Don Fellows, and he's brought along some of his players. Get to visit the Knights and enjoy it a little bit. Of course, we are bringing it to you from Carlo's Pizza. That's right, Carlo's Pizza, 3150 Plainfield Northeast. You can check them out at carlositalianpizza.com. That's carlositalianpizza.com. New owners, great. They got a lunch business going on right now with a lunch buffet. Stop out, check it out. Great pizza, subs, you name it. They got to bring out fresh hand-tossed pizza, homemade subs, and wings daily made right here. But right now we're going to talk a little high school football with veteran Coach Don Fellows, 30th year coaching football and his 20th year as a head coach at the high school level. Coach, time does fly by, but 20 years, that's certainly a noteworthy number to be a head coach at the high school level with forming young men. Yeah,
it's been a great run. I mean, there's always some up and downs through your career, but for the most part, been very, very blessed to, be at some great places and hopefully help some kids and mentor them. And the most important thing, the older you get, is you want to see kids develop and have an opportunity to move on to the next level. And I think we've done that pretty well over the last 20 years.
Your second year heading up to Kenowa Hills program. Last year, in your first year, terrific season, 6-3, made the playoffs for just the second time in 12 years at Kenowa Hills. How did you bring it all together that quickly? Because that's not an easy thing to do when you're coming into a new system like that.
No, I think it starts with administration, right? Like, administration was very hungry and they wanted to make sure that we had the right opportunities for the kids. And from the very beginning, new uniforms and equipment. But most importantly, there's no secret for success in football. You got to work hard. And our administration was great at the very beginning. Our superintendent saw the value in football. So did our principal, Nate Robron. And we started the football lifting class in the morning. So everything's built in our schedule, and the kids bought in right away. And I bring a good staff with me. It's been together for the most part, since 2011. And some credibility there with our kids, and man, our seniors jumped right in, our kids fouled, and they went all in. And when kids go all in high school and you have some talented kids and good staff, there's a lot of good things that can happen pretty quickly.
Tell us about a couple of the staff members you mentioned there, Coach.
Well, it starts with my two coordinators, Jeremy Fellows, who's my brother, was a college coordinator for a long time, and he's been my offense coordinator since 2011, and then Eric Ross, who also is a college coach, came with me at Grand Rapids Christian in 2010, and so it starts with those two guys, and then, we have some really talented kids underneath them that have been with us a long time, so we feel like we don't have to waste a lot of time in meeting, get to know each other. We try to say there's no fluff on our staff, just coach kids hard.
What do you see in your veteran years here now coaching it, as far as the coaches coming up in it? Are you seeing more young men wanting to get into coaching? Are you seeing less? What are you seeing trend-wise as far as young men coming out of college that want to become coaches?
I think the biggest thing that jumps out to me, like even Spark going in this facility, I think a lot of coaches now, the older we get and even younger, you see a lot of guys that are not teachers as much anymore,
I've
right?
noticed
and
that.
Educators.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just because, football coaches are key coordinators in communities, right? They have a lot of connections. And I think as tough as education is right now, I think a lot of football coaches said, man, I can get into business, or I can go do something else and still impact kids. But, I think it's funny, you have your close knit of friends, like Ryan was on here last week. Ryan's a good friend of ours, and I've known Spark for a long time, and Coach Anise. So I think there's a group of guys, there's a lot of always good young guys coming up, but that's the thing that jumped out to me most. There's not a lot of as many as educators as what there used to be.
You mentioned young guys. You brought three of them that are all juniors. They were all on the varsity last year as a sophomore. Coach, what do you need to see in a player in general to know that as a sophomore he's ready for varsity football?
Well, last year I think we started 13 sophomores. We only had 7 seniors on the roster, so we kind of got thrusted into that, right? But I think with these 3 guys, they're super talented. All of them are different in their unique ways, but all 3 of them, I think, could have played varsity football for probably almost any team around here. But right away, they're smart, they're hardworking, they love football. To jump in to be a sophomore starter, you gotta mesh well with the older kids, but you gotta work your butt off.
Well, let's give you just a little brief capsule on what each of these 3 that we're going to talk to in a little bit. Start with wide receiver Will Tussman.
Yeah, Will was super talented kid. He was a quarterback growing up in Kenowa Hills and kind of gravitated to more of a receiver. Almost had 1,000 yards receiving last year. He's one of the best athletes. I think he's the best receiver I've had since Drake Harris as a sophomore.
That's high praise.
Yeah, and Will's kind of plays like him. He's long, he's lean, he's got great athletic ability, he's super smart. But I think he's one of the more talented kids I've ever had.
And you do run a wide open offense, so that appeals to your wide receivers, doesn't it, Coach? Running back London Hampton did a nice job for you last year. Averaged over 100 yards per game and had 17 touchdowns as a sophomore. Yeah,
London is, again, I mean, we had some talented players at Gramps Christian, right? London, I think, is an NFL kid one day. If he continues to work hard and works hard, I think he's in multiple, double-digit offers from colleges. Michigan State are close to, I think, offering him, but loves football, super athletic. He's got 2 older brothers that play college football. Dad was, I think, was the Gus Macker dunk champion, so he's got like a lot of great genes in him. But again, with London, just like Will, he loves football. Tremendous kid, works his butt off, and you don't get a lot of teams. The best part about my team right now is out of our 50 guys, we feel like they really love football, and it's been a while since I've had that.
You mentioned the recruiting element. Just in general terms, Don, how involved are you in the recruiting process with college coaches who inquire about your players? Is that something you're on the fringe or you're very actively involved?
We've always been active on it. You look at one of 2 ways. Coaches either think like that's not their job to get kids out and they're supposed to just have this high school experience. We have always looked at it, not college isn't for every kid, but if they want to be a college football player, it's our job to get them ready, give them the background. It's just like if they're going to college, they want to get them ready for the NFL. So we've always felt like we need to have that step. We're really active, and I'm sure a lot of coaches will tell you the same thing. It has changed, right? So I don't know if the coach's word is as important as it used to be. I think now it's these camps, kids got to be seen. They want to come and see them. So the recruiting process has completely changed over the last 5 or 7 years.
And especially in the last couple of years now, when you have kids that right now with a predominantly underclass roster, it's not as much a factor. But when kids are seniors now, they're going to be dealing with NIL decisions right now, and that's a new realm for coaches like you and high school coaches across the country as far as dealing with kids when they're making their decisions for beyond high school.
Yeah, I mean, the NIL has changed everything, right? So even for London, we took him down to Michigan State, and one of the first questions I asked is like, how much money would he need to come to Michigan State, right? Where does he fit in our budget? And it's an uncomfortable question to ask because now you're becoming your player's agent, right? For the parents, and certain kids, family situations are different for each kid. So it is a unique thing. But I think as we're navigating through this, I think you're going to see some rule changes coming up is my gut feeling. And I think it'll be streamlined and make it a lot more easier for coaches.
Hopefully some kind of guardrails, because
yes,
there aren't a whole lot out there now. All right, your third player is a guy who happens to have dinner at your house. Grayson Fellows, your son. Again, last year, over 2,600 yards through the air, 15 touchdowns, and a nice 63% completion percentage as a sophomore. Pretty impressive number there.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's my son, and Sparky and I joke all the time because maybe not everybody knew this, but Coach McEwen's son, Sparky, was on my staff when we won the state championship. So he was a signaler. So I bring that up because I tell Sparky all the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd you coach your own kid? Point being, it's really difficult to coach your own son, right? And Grayson made a comment to me last year. We get in the car. He's like, can we just not talk football? So I'm learning how to grow, to coach your own son, want to be supportive, maybe not getting on him all the time and still trying to be a dad, but it's definitely a unique situation. But again, like the other boys, Grayson loves football. He's always dreamed to be a quarterback. He's excited to get his first offer from Davenport with Sparky, and he loves ball, and he had a great year. He led the state in passing as a sophomore.
Well, you're going to open up the season with Forest Hills Northern, who we're going to have on the show next week in our podcast right there. And then, they got the better of it last year, 21-10 on there. It's a good team to open up with. You get a good feel for where your strengths and weaknesses are, I would think.
Yeah, Eddie does a nice job, and it's a bigger school, so we're trying to play up a little bit. So we're a D3 school, they're D2. We felt like we were up 10-0 at halftime last year, and we kind of let that one slip away a little bit, but they made some great adjustments. We didn't. But we're looking forward to the opportunity. Our non-schedule for Division III is pretty tough. Then we get Paw Paw, who was 8-1 last year, and then we get Harper Creek, Battle Creek, Harper Creek was our non-conference last year, and they went 8-1, and their only loss was us. So it's a little bit of a grind.
Finally, Don, you're certainly no stranger to the area, but last year was your first experience with the River Cities Alliance, the new conference, the new league with the teams that you played. Notice a difference in terms of like the OK Conference, which you were a part of for a long time?
Yeah, there's goods and bads, right? The goods are local communities. The stadiums were packed. It's more of a community feel. Everybody's pretty much touching each other from a community standpoint. Then it brings in some bitter rivalries, and that's always fun, but it's always interesting to manage. And I think for all of us, like this separation of officials between the OK, Red, like everybody now is jockeying for officials. And I think that's a struggle the RCA has had, and that we got to get that cleaned up. But there's definitely some growing pains in that area.
Don, thanks for stopping out. Look forward to visiting with your guys, and we'll take a time out and come back and visit with them,
Absolutely.
All right?
Thank you for having me.
Coach Don Fellows, let's take a time out. We'll come back and visit with some of the Kenowa Hills Knights here as you enjoy Chalk Talk at Carlo's Pizza, brought to you by Max Sports Consulting here in our special podcast. We roll on the Chalk Talk at Carlo's Pizza, presented by Max Sports Consulting. We mentioned recruiting in that first segment. I have a question for you, parents that might have a player or two in your family that might be being recruited. Do you need help understanding the recruiting process? As we talked with Coach about, it's overwhelming right now, and Max Sports Consulting understands how confusing it can be for you if you have your son trying to navigate the football recruiting process and the transfer portal process, which is a whole nother element. Now, whether you're a high school or a college student athlete, Max Sports Consulting can evaluate your talent, help secure opportunities to get you to the next level. Go to macsportsconsulting.com, that's macsportsconsulting.com, see how their team of highly knowledgeable and experienced collegiate sports experts can help you gain access to valuable resources and plan a strategy. Visit macsportsconsulting.com, macsportsconsulting.com. Parents, it could be your best tool to helping your kids get exposed. We're visiting with the Kenowa Hills Knights here in our summer look at football. We're going to start with junior wide receiver Will Tussman. 5 touchdowns last year, had an outstanding year, as Coach said. What did it was your first year in varsity ball last year, right, Will?
Yeah.
All right, tell us what that was like in terms of maybe jumping from freshman ball where you were the year before to varsity in 1 year. What was the biggest adjustment for you there?
It's a lot quicker. They're a lot bigger and all that. I adapted pretty well just because at receiver, you're not really getting banged up, so it's a lot easier to play.
What did you think you did well as a sophomore, or what's one area you know you have to get better at this year?
I think I need to be more physical, just overall, especially blocking. I think receiver, like I did, my routes were all good. That was all good. Yeah.
Playing, I mentioned with Coach, I know with Coach Fellows, he runs a wide open offense, so as a wide receiver, you got to be chomping at the bit to get out there because you know you're going to get some balls in the air, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Let's talk about this team, team-wise, Will, last year. As mentioned, just the second playoff appearance in 12 years at Kenowa Hills. Had to be gratifying to the school, to get that kind of excitement going again.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Just the whole vibe of the community was a lot better overall from everybody.
What did you work on this summer, Will, as far as individual skill-wise have you been working on this year?
A lot of footwork stuff with a lot of hands, too.
On your own or with a staff, or what?
I worked with a trainer, Coach Augustus. He actually helps with Davenport. So, yeah.
So what did you make strides in, do you think, that maybe you weren't doing so well last year at this time?
I think a lot of my release, like off the line and footwork, is a lot better now.
What's the vibe on the team? Like I said, you had all of a sudden a good year, made the playoffs. What's the vibe going into this year? What are the team goals?
Win the conference, of course, is first, and we're a lot closer this year because we didn't lose many seniors, and we've known each other for a long time. So I think our main goal is, win the conference and go pretty far in the playoffs.
Normally this is a question, Will, I ask of seniors but you don't have many seniors on your roster, so you got to be a leader to guys on and off the court that are younger on the varsity over this year? What can you show them in terms of leadership?
Just show them how to do it. Really act. I don't know.
Try to just show them on the field and maybe in the classroom, right?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of. I'm on a lot of advanced classes, so I don't really have a lot of classes with them.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, so.
I know it's early, but you certainly off to a great high school career after 1 year, and we look for good things from you, Will, in the future. Thanks for stopping by. Let's pass the microphone over to your buddy London Hampton to your left right now. London, we mentioned, a terrific year, 102 yards a game, 17 touchdowns as a junior. Had to feel pretty good about that overall. London, how did you assess your year in varsity ball as a sophomore last year? What did you think? How did you just evaluate yourself? What you thought you did well, what you didn't do well?
One thing I felt like I did well was adapted from the change of speeds of like Division 3 to Division 6 to Division 3, and I felt like I had a pretty good year. One thing I need to work on from last year is being patient out of the backfield.
Okay, spotting your hole, giving the time a little for that hole to develop. Yeah. What did you work on this summer? What have you been doing individually or maybe with a couple teammates to get ready for the season, which is not that far down the road?
I've been doing a lot of running back training with my running back coach, Mike Weber.
Tell us about a running back that you admire or look up to, either whether that's a college or pro running back that you say, I like his game and I'd kind of like to get there.
Adrian Peterson, I feel like he has the same frame as me, as being a tall back.
You're a little young to be an Adrian Peterson fan, aren't you? Where did that come? Is that from your family?
Yeah, it came from my dad. Him and his dad are very close.
Oh, are they?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did they get to know each other?
Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, that's fantastic as well. How did you assess last year with the school as far as getting behind you and supporting you guys once you got things going? Good support?
Yeah, it was very good support from the fans in the stadium and the community overall.
Let's go to a Friday night at Kenowa Hills, London. What's your favorite part about game night? Go through that. What stands out to you?
The night walk, seeing all the parents and getting led by the band and dapping up all the kids before the game. Okay, now, folks out there are not probably familiar with that. Tell us what the night walk is. Walk us through the night walk. Tell us what you do. We go from the stadium, and then we just walk to the field, and then all the parents will be lined up, and then there'll be fire trucks honking and stuff, and then we'll just walk down to the locker room. That never gets old, does it? No, sir. Well, you got certainly a big. What are the team goals and individual goals for you this year? Team goals to make it pretty far in state meet in the playoffs and have a good run. Individually, you have individual goals, or not? You thinking about that? Individual goals to break the school rushing record and touchdown record. Way ahead. What is it? Do you know? 17 touchdowns last year. Is that for the year or the career you're talking about? You're getting some help from outside. 21? The school touchdown record is 21. All right, 21. Well, that's certainly within your reach, I would think there. Well, Will Tussman, London Hampton, appreciate that. London, keep working hard, buddy. We're looking for good things from you. And also from you, Will. I look for good things for the Knights this season. Hey, don't forget, we are coming to you from Carlo's Pizza, 3150 Plainfield Avenue. And you got to stop out, check out their fantastic pizza. I had it for the first time last week. It is dynamite. They've got catering options. And they currently have a special going, 14-inch, 2-topping, hand-tossed pizza for $10.99. Ask for the special when you call it in. You can pick it up, or they'll deliver it. They're on DoorDash. Make it a whole lot easy so you can stop in and eat. They have a nice dining area that we're broadcasting from right now. Take a break and come back with another member of the Kenowa Hills Knights as we roll on with Chalk Talk at Carlo's Pizza, presented by Mac Sports Consulting. Chalk Talk rolls on from Carlo's Pizza, Plainfield Avenue Northeast, right at the corner of Plainfield and I-96. Very convenient, right off the highway of 96. You can get in here, having a good meal, or pick up something to go, take it on home to the family. Great place for dinner and lunch here. They're also on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget that here. We're visiting with the Kenowa Hills Knights tonight on our Chalk Talk. Don Fellows, our head coach, was here to visit with his players Will Tussman and London Hampton. Now his quarterback Grayson Fellows joins us, also a junior. 2,680 yards as a sophomore, 15 touchdowns.
63% percentage completion. Those are outstanding numbers for anybody at the high school level. As a sophomore in the varsity, even more so. Grayson, we'll ask you, which one of those three are you most happy with? You know, if you're happy with all of them, I'm sure, but what does one make you feel a little bit better than the other three?
The passing yards, because I broke the school record.
So that was, when did that happen in the season?
I think after the Coopersville game, so like week 6, week 7.
Well, again, you certainly got a great offense to throw in with your coach, who happens to double as your dad. He mentioned that, let's get that out of the way. Coach mentioned that, you know, you brought up that sometimes you want him to be dad fellows instead of coach fellows. Tell us about that.
Well, a lot of times in practice, he'll get on me a lot. So, like, I don't want to keep yelling at me at home, so I'll be like, just be dad.
Let's talk about the season last year. How did you evaluate the Knights as a whole? Not your own individual play, but how did you evaluate the team?
I think I helped because we can just do a lot more, throw the ball around, and then London helps just running the ball. And I think I can run the ball too. So I think we have, like, with all of you guys, we have the whole package. We can do it all. You
got some great weapons out there as well. So exciting. Let's ask you, since now, of course, that's all you know is River Cities Alliance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have it like your dad had experience in that, but certainly it's a great rivalry, and communities are very, very similar as well. Grayson, we asked the other guys. I want to ask you too. What did you work on specifically this summer to get better?
I worked on my arm getting stronger.
What did you do for that?
Just went to PT a lot because I had a torn labrum. Well, I had it 2 years ago, but it's still got work for it. So I was doing a lot of PT and then just throwing with the guys on like summer days. I mean, like after football ended.
Did that bother you much last year at all during the season?
It actually healed like really good. Like I was like supposed to take like 6 months. I took like 4, and I was like stronger than ever.
What's the personality of this team? Because some teams are kind of goofy and they can turn it on. Some guys are dead serious all the time. Yeah. Where is this team?
I think it's in between. I mean, we always hang out at each other's houses. We can be goofy, and then when football comes on, we know how to like lock in and get the job done.
What do you guys do when you're together not doing football? What kind of activities do you do?
We like to go in someone's pool, and then some of us like to golf. We go golfing a lot.
Do you golf?
Yeah, I golf.
You pretty good?
Getting there.
Do you do other sports?
I play basketball.
Okay, all right, great. So let's talk a little bit about the team goals this year. We asked what your teammates have, but I want to ask you as well. What are the team goals for the Knights?
Yeah, first just go 9-0, win the conference, and then try to make it around the playoffs. Hopefully go to the state championship.
You got a taste of the playoffs last year. You played a really good Coopersville team in the first round and lost. What did you take from that final game, that loss in the playoffs?
That just because you made it doesn't mean you can keep going. You got to work. And yeah, it was a tough loss for us, especially after beating them in the regular season. But I think it just got us another motivating thing to focus on this summer. Was
that a home game or was that a road?
It was away.
That was away.
Yeah.
So again, if you get your 9-0, you get a home game then.
Yeah.
So that would be a part of that as well. What's the vibe at school right now about this football program? Coach Fellow's second year heading up the Knights program. Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the talk of the school right now. Everyone's excited. Everyone's posting about like student section stuff. Everyone's gonna be there.
We asked London about the night walk. I want you to tell us a little bit about that, why that's so special.
Yeah, the night walk's cool because like I remember, especially growing up with my dad, I can always see all the big players walking through. So I remember being a little kid, just seeing that, and now I can do it in front of these little kids. It's pretty cool.
What kind of example do you feel a responsibility to younger players as far as how you handle yourself on and off the field?
Yeah, it's definitely a responsibility because a lot of people in like our grade like to it's not that serious yet, and it's like you have to like they can do both. It doesn't really matter, but for like us three, we got to be like role models to the team and still have that kid nature of being goofy.
All right, so you didn't have many seniors last year. You don't have many this year as well. So you're an upperclassman. So you've got to show the younger players in your program, in your freshman program especially. What do you need to show the Do you have a chance to interact with the freshman program at all, or are they pretty much separate?
Yeah, so right now, we'll lift and then we'll go do some indie work. So like, it'll be like, it won't be varsity and freshman, it'll be everyone. So I'll be working with like the freshman quarterbacks, JV quarterbacks, so we're all together.
Well, that's great. Grayson, we look for big things for you and the Knights this year.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
To Carlos here to talk a little high school football with the Knights. We want to thank our special guest, Coach Don Fellows of the Kenowa Hills Knights, and the players he brought along, Will Tussman, London Hampton, and Grayson Fellows. So we'll be back next week with another show, and we'll have multiple guests next year. Who? Well, you're going to have to join in right where you're watching this right now to find out who's going to be joining us next week. That'll wrap it up. Thanks to Andrew, our producer. So for Coach Fellows and guests, this is Rick Berkey. Thanks for joining us, and keep loving football.